but he still brings his thing in with the strings arrangement. That people would think that, oh, you only can do certain style when he's, you know, when you're a drummer, you're a hip hop drummer. Oh, he's a this drummer, but this guy brought his A game to whether it's soul, R&B.
When somebody asks him, what do you play? Did you play any favorite genre? He says, I play all genres. I can fit in all genres.
I love it. That's swagger.
Listen to him. I can fit in all genres. Matter of fact, listen to this. He's one of the few string arrangers and classically orchestra trained that has worked at the Nobel Peace Prize on 2 consecutive occasions, where he conducts the choir, the orchestra.
Wow.
On 2 consecutive. So this is how they're regarding Wright Jr. This is how they're regarding. He's the elite.
Affinity extra, beat extra.
Yeah, people, this is your boy here, Roger Moore, and Affinity Extra, here to celebrate gospel music of black origin. Also, we're here to talk about the history of black music and the successes of it, because knowing our history, guys, is so important. I've been blessed. I'm going to be talking about to actually my colleague here, Kevin Tomlin. I'm going to be talking to his cousin soon again. You guys never knew they were cousins. Bishop Jackson. I'm going to touch base with him because it's important to know history. When it comes to black music, it's important to understand about history, about black Christianity. People say stop looking back, but the reality show is that we have so much to be proud of, and we have been told all our lives that we follow. No. We are the inventors and the instigators of the best things of this world. Yeah, too often we've been told that we have been civilized. We were civilized, but we were the one who invented the word. You know what I'm saying? You know, and whatsoever, you know, out there still, yeah. But I got a quick question just to kick off with. We're gonna go into Benjamin Wright, yeah. Now, with my brother Kevin, yeah, and I have to salute Kevin, guys. We have put together a massive piece of work right now online. It's not massive to me, but you know what? And Kevin's pulled me up and said, Roger, we're doing a great thing. I'm thinking, what are you on about, bro? We're just talking on a mic, you know what I mean, in the video, but we are doing an amazing thing here because, you know, I have learned a lot on this journey. This is part of my education. I'm doing it online, guys. You are hearing my conversations that I'm having with Kevin. Before we even came online, we'll be talking like this, you know what I'm saying? So you are privy to a great conversation educating me about we are not inventing success. We are looking at the history of how to be successful so we can be successful today. That's what we are doing here right now in this station. And anybody who knows Roger doesn't really care about Beyonce and all these flashy secular artists. I was never into it. I'm a gospel guy all day long, but I understand the importance to learn from their journey, because you know what, they actually understand some of the basic biblical principles which we in church we don't do, i.e. hard work. We don't want hard work. We think God is going to deliver and give us everything without hard work anyway. Still, yeah, that's just the way as Christians feel anyway. So how we think. Sorry, opinions out there, but listen. Again, before I chop into it, Kevin, I was in a conversation with somebody on the station, and I said to him that we are the inventors of as black people, as black music, rock and roll. You got things like jazz and a lot of music that we kind of like named in. Got named up while in slavery, reggae and whatsoever. Not in slavery, but you know what I mean. Moved over into the Afro-Americans. The Afro slaves kind of created numerous popular styles of music that we enjoy now. Yeah. Now, when talking to one of my colleagues now, he's gonna be coming on the station, and I would like to get a response off yourself on this because as a music historian, he said. But we're devaluing the input of instruments that were created by European people. So how can we say it's black music when we're utilizing European technology and music?
Okay, let me make this abundantly clear.
Okay.
Any of the, should I say, explosive impact of popular music as such, it was led by blacks, a lot of it. Yes, there were few whites who were at the cutting edge as well. But we need to remember that when we're talking about European instruments, there were instruments prior to European instruments from the other empires that originated in Africa and so on. If you look in the Bible, they've been talking about string instruments long before Britain and France created power brokers and empires.
Okay.
So what is he talking about? What is he talking about?
So things like jazz, like jazz, and he's saying like things like rock and roll, like, you know what I mean, like rock and roll. How can rock and roll? Where's the guitar come from? European instrument, and we're the one who flashing it. So he's just saying we utilize the European instruments and gave our swagger to it, but we learned the European way how to
it's totally incorrect because the rhythm and blues came from the South, and it came from Africa originally because the migration because you think about the syncopation and movements, the percussions. It's when we talk about Benjamin Wright, he's originally a blues man.
Okay.
He's a blues man. But he created a string style through the blues, a swing.
Okay. So the rudiments of our groove and what's in our blood and what we do, you know what I'm saying, comes out whatever we do. It's like a table. Like this table is made by IKEA, yeah. But by the time I go, that doesn't mean IKEA gets any credit because it made the table. Yeah, man, you get it. Yeah.
Remember,
so it's not Swedish.
He needs to understand that, of course, blacks couldn't get a chance to make the instruments, of course, the European instruments, because they didn't have the funding to do it. They didn't have the technology. But what they had was the rhythm and the spirit of the music in them. It was built in them. It was built in the DNA. If you go to a black church, brother, that is going to a black church. If you've been to a black church where there's no instruments, they make instruments with a voice in the end. I love, syncopation.
Yeah.
And that is just as powerful, a cappella rhythms. Yeah. So, yes, of course, a European company made the guitar. And what is your point? But the brother who add the instrument, master it, and make it something else, with it.
Make it singing it.
Like, yeah. Because when you get a brush to paint, you determine what you want the brush to execute.
Yeah, true.
It comes from you.
That's
a total nonsense. Nobody can tell me that foolishness, because matter of fact, the music industry didn't come exciting until Sam Cooke's, the Otis Redding, the Aretha Franklins, and all of them start to get in the mix. It didn't go over the $1 billion mark until Motown and them start to kick.
All right.
Yeah, because remember, by the time 67 arrived, Motown was the king of the pop charts at one point. They were the only label with their collection of roster of artists that was able to compete against the Beatles and the Rolling Stone invasion.
Wow.
Hello.
Wow.
So when you're talking about history and so on, yes, the brothers invented it, but we had our own attitude and skills to put it to it, interpretation. That's the difference. So with Eric Clapton and all of them would tell us that we learned from the BB Kings, etc. That's where we learn our musical intelligence and so on. So nobody look. I know my history. So the brother talking, he doesn't fart what he's talking about, because the most of everyone. When you look at, say, for instance, Cat Stevens used a lot of blacks to create his musical expression. Phil Upchurch, which I'm going to be doing. I probably might do Phil Upchurch one day. One of the technocrats who was one of the key studio men that came out of Chicago, bro.
Okay, cool.
And this brother worked on the first best-selling jazz album of all time, which is Breezin' by Quincy Jones. Mr. Phil Upchurch is a technocrat. musical genius. So.
Okay. So ultimately, you're not having it.
What is the point? What is the point? What is the point? Even if they make it, it depends on how the instrumentation and how it's being used. It's like, how do you use your studio? You got your own styling. You use it uniquely to you, to your musical to your creative DNA.
But the company you made, guys,
branding. So
that's your no, but a valid point for my colleague, but that's beautifully shut down. Right, let's get to it, guys. Right, so I am somebody who has been mentioned to me a number of times, a elder statesman, and sometimes when you listen to R&B hits and you think it's simplicity and its quality, you don't realize the high levels of instrumentation, the simpleness, and the accuracy of some of them string arrangements in the background, and how tracks are bingo. I mean, I must say, I've been listening to a couple of R&B tracks from back in the day, and if you listen to them, they're so simple, but when certain things come out, they go new. It sounds in there, and you just hear the things coming in like this. Ooh, what was that? It made me feel good. You know what I'm saying? And you think nothing of it. But these instrumentations are being put in place by absolutely master craftsmen who knows how to pull on your strings, literally, you know what I'm saying, with the string instrument. And we have to, and then to be honest, growing up, anything to do with orchestra, we just assume everything's white. We just assume anything white is orchestra. Black, we don't do them things. We do the bass guitar. We do drums. We do, funk stuff. We don't do orchestra. We haven't been given access to them things. We ain't been schooled that way. We always have to go to the white guy to do lead guitar and to the orchestra. That's how we see it. I'm afraid that is not true. That's far from the truth itself. Ask that to Jimi Hendrix and ask that to Benjamin Right. Yeah, Benjamin Wright Jr. Yeah, 100%. So I am on that lead, guys. Yeah, I am gonna leave. Oh, but just gonna slip in. This guy's actually worked with some top dudes as well, guys. Now Timberlake. Now I'll try and do. I tried it right there, and all the things up there get and them high notes that you're doing anyway. So yeah.
Cry me.
Listen, man, all them arrangements, you know what I'm saying, that's in place. He has put it in place. So listen, guys, 100%. Let's do this, Kevin. Chop it up and let's get into him. Let me get my wiki out on my iPad and let's do it, bro.
Yeah. Brother born the 11th of July, 1946. That means he's 10 years older than me, almost. He's 10 years older than me.
All right, man. Right? All right.
And he's born the same month. He's just born a few days difference, prof. So he's 10 years older than me. So he would be this year. This year is going to be, of course, he's 11 years. This year is going to be 76 years old.
Fair play to the dude.
And the brother has about at least 50 years worth of sonic development. 50, say about 55. Because he started his career from the 1960s. And he started to write what you call string charting and arrangement from school days. Okay. From that early. Yes, he started to do actually arranging charts and notes and putting brass instruments as well as string instruments in the appropriate place in the band.
And would you say,
yes.
Was he part of an affluent background, or was he on the?
No, he was just a working class. He was from Greenville, Mississippi. Mississippi, which is not one of the wealthiest areas where you find wealthy blacks at all. Because you probably will find wealthy blacks if you move to, say, Chicago, where you have Vivian Carter and Braxton, who were the first, would you say, successful black recording executive. This is another story to talk about. Wow. And I talk about Vivian now. Vivian is probably one of the first documented female black recording executive from the 1950s. So, brother, you hear the tip of hey.
Okay,
let's go.
Yeah, cool.
Let's concentrate.
Let's hit some of the people that he looked at, who he worked around.
Well, first of all, before we actually go to that, one of the first person he encountered was I think it was a Ted Baker. I'm not sure, Ted something or another, that he did live work with. And he actually at one time met Duke Ellington on behalf of a gentleman named Fats Ford, who was an instrumentalist. I think he was a brass instrument player, actually. And he believed in Benjamin so much that he started to teach Benjamin the craft and throw him into the deep end and said, told Quincy Jones that this is a promising. And Quincy Jones talked to him for 20 minutes. Not Quincy Jones so much, but Duke Ellington. He met Duke Ellington in his early days, and that was what changed his life.
Trumpet player Duke Ellington, guys, man. You know what I mean? Wiki that, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. So, and the thing about it, that I think that made him successful as well. His father purchased electric piano on hire purchase for him, small, and that became his ticket to fame.
Okay.
His father invested, and his father believed in him, and so he invested in this instrument. And also Benjamin Wright Jr. is one of the first students to do courses with Berkeley and Carl Fisher Institute. These two institutions used to do correspondence courses before they actually did, and they created their own campuses. So Duke Ellington was a Berkeley student long before they had campuses.
Okay, fair play.
So he's in other words, he's a trained, classically trained string arranger, horn arranger, and band leader. He's a classically trained. So this brother is actually he's regarded as one of the best classically string arrangers in the business. Right. He's regarded. Well, you just look at the credits. Actually, the credits, as far as when my colleague was telling me, it said over 400 credits. Over 400 credits.
And the thing is, bro, just a point there, yeah. Again, you know, guys, please forgive me for people out there. When I chose instrument as a child, and we choose it based upon what pastor wants us to play in church. And I think too often we've missed a generation in the UK of talent, because, you know, I remember when I brought home a trombone to my mom and dad, and I sent it back and said, you're going to learn how to play piano, because all they could see is the piano is something that they couldn't see the trombone fitting within the structures of our music type. You know what I'm saying? How's that going to fit in our space? And I think too often, guys, you know, we see orchestral stuff as something that doesn't apply to us, that doesn't work for our community. But listen, guys, this is in the 40s and 50s and 60s. It was Benjamin started. Remember, Benjamin actually started playing string and horn as instruments from the 60s, actually, before he went completely professional. Before he went to Chicago to develop further his craft. That's what I'm saying, bro.
Yeah. So. Okay, look.
Let's get into it, bro.
This is what people need to understand. What was fascinating about Benjamin went on exploratory learning. He made it a commitment from his time his father gave him that piano, and he knew that his father purchased it on credit. He decided that he was going to be a master of string arrangements. Master to actually know how to use strings within a composition and how to give it that special flavor. As a matter of fact, Benjamin is so good that he can actually create strings as a rhythm section. That's what he did with Off the Wall. He created it in a rhythm pattern, a drumming beat. Zeus!
Proper.
Look. There's only two guys I know so far as string arranger. Larry Gold, who did Cry Me River, who was with Benjamin, was playing on that same album. Those two, Cry Me and true. And those two brothers are my favorite string arrangers. And of course, you have Tom Bell is another one. That's another, Tom Bell, when we talk about Jamaican descendant and born, Tom Bell of Philly. All these guys are master at strings.
Brilliant.
So when you think about it, Benjamin came so good that when he eventually migrated to Chicago, when you check the Chicago, he was the in-demand musicians in Chicago, and he was the copyist. The copyist, that simply means that he did the copying work for all the string masters out of Chicago. Charles Stepney, Richard Evans,
Listen, guys, can I get a little squeeze? So, guys, like, he looks like this guy in Chicago worked with this guy. So, if you guys really recognize his names, he's recorded music with these premier bands. And now, I don't know much about these guys, but this is a Jackie Wilson. There's the Chilites. I don't know. Shylights. Sorry, guys. Shylights.
Curtis Mayfield.
Curtis Mayfield. There's Jerry Butler. The Impressions. Impressions. Yeah, man. And there's some Donna Hathaway, Jeannie Barge. You know what I'm saying? Charles Stephanie. Yeah. And he's also worked with a number of guys who had strong relations. Now, I've seen this record company before, Chess Records. He's worked with Mercury Records. I've definitely heard of them.
That's correct. Yes.
Curtom Records and Brunswick Records. Anyone I ain't seen before is a Curtom Records anyway. So yeah, but he's worked with all these guys in his 60s and 70s, and he's not even just got started.
Yes, that's right. That's what is laughable is that he developed such a demand while he was in Chicago that his name was spreading towards the East Coast and the West Coast. So by the time he reached the West Coast to Los Angeles, where he moved with his family and his wife,
LA, yeah, man.
They one of the first person to get in touch with him was the former Motown A&R man, Mickey Stevens.
Okay.
Because Mickey Stevens because you have to understand the music industry is a small fraternity, and anybody's good, it flies around. Yeah. And sometimes they might not be able to get Benjamin, but they know about Benjamin. They hope to work with him because he's busy on different sessions.
Yeah, man.
Yes, he's busy. So they were waiting hopefully one day. And then when Benjamin got into the biggest mistake that some of them made is that they, like for instance, when Benjamin was working with the Temptations, he became their band leader. And when he was instrumental in helping them to leave Motown and go to Atlantic Records, and he was ready to produce them. And they told Benjamin that you're not good for the investment of us. Putting Temptations on the contract at Atlantic because you're not a big name.
Wow.
So they laid him off. They told him you can't really do this. And then what happened was that during that time, Quincy Jones gave him a call.
Oh, that's not bad.
Quincy Jones, and it's not bad. It's Quincy Jones. Quincy Jones said, basically, when Quincy Jones called him, he said, "Quincy who?" Quincy. This is the Quincy. I did a few times again. No, when he's the Quincy, I'm doing paraphrasing here. I said, "Hello, this is Quincy Jones," and Benjamin said, "Quincy who?" It's like me. It's like one of the top cats from the UK, California. This is Mr. So and so, and you're saying. Nah, you're saying no, this guy's taking a pee. Yeah. And then the guy says again, "This is so and so." And then for the third time he says it again. And the brother is not getting, and Quincy Jones is not coming off the phone, you see.
Come on.
Come
on.
And then what Quincy Jones said, eventually Quincy Jones gave him an address to come to in Bel Air. Now, of course, Bel Air is the wealthy section of Los Angeles now, Hollywood.
Fresh yeah.
Of course, this is a place where a lot of people have servants and etc. So they're big homes, It's, need I say more? Mansions. So he went up there and eventually realized that this was for real. Met Quincy and met his wife. And then after he met Quincy, said, "Oh yes." And then Quincy said, "I'm going to give you 30 days to develop a composition for Michael Jackson's up and coming studio album. That's Off the Wall."
Okay, yeah. Okay, that's not bad.
And the funny thing, at the same time, he was hired by Earth, Wind and Fire, Morris White, to do the strings on Boogie Wonderland, which was a monster hit.
Okay, yes.
He did the strings on it.
Okay,
that's Benjamin's strings.
Not bad. Okay, cool.
So all the people who told him he couldn't do anything, he said that I'm going to show you. He was crying about it. He said, "Show you." And the brother went from unknown, known in the industry somewhat, but unknown to become in demand. Remember those two tracks. I mean, Off the Wall is the first most recognized string arrangement in the world in terms of leading.
Okay, I mean, I need to make sure I listen to that again, But
you got to listen to it again, bro.
Because the thing is, Boogie Land, I just remember the. Okay, yeah. Sorry, guys, you guys hear it. Sorry if we just get into it. I remember that because, like I said, there was a phase where I listened to a lot of live Earth, Wind and Fire stuff, and as a bass player, just picking up the hook. But then when you hear them things that I'm focusing on the bass, but you can hear these pushes and everyone's doing the pushes and I get it. Boogie Wonderland, and that's in the 79 and 1980. These hits were hitting. So you're talking about the turns of the late 90s, very late 90s, going into the 80s. This is the calls that he's getting. Just when I was a little bit of I was 4 years old at the time, so he was making moves. That's right. Back then.
Yeah, because with Off the Wall album, matter of fact, the album initially, I think the Off the Wall. They produced all four. He did 4 singles that was featured on it, and all 4 of those singles, as far as I know, they've all gone gold or platinum. The singles that Benjamin actually did the arrangement on.
That's incredible. that's incredible.
And then when you think about the Off the Wall album, both digitally and hard copy, it sold about 18 to 20 million. In total.
Jeez, and that's what I'm saying, bro. And this is where top producers do their thing, you know what I'm saying, and they bring together Quincy Jones, they bring together the best of the best, you know what I'm saying, to produce. And that's why sometimes people look at producers, and this is something that we need to learn from in the gospel industry. Sometimes we expect the executive producer to be a guy who's going to play an instrument, everything. No, the executive producer brings together and understands how to bring the ingredients in, when things come together, he can turn around and say, "No, that's too much ad-libbing. Let's get so and so." Or when he goes, we need to get BVs for that section. You don't need to deliver. And I think sometimes our education in the music industry, when it comes to the UK gospel, is I've got to do it all, and my musician, he's going to produce my track. No. Your musician could come up with the idea, and then you bring in somebody to do the strings, you bring in somebody to play the piano in, and this is what we need to stop doing in the UK. And when I listen to UK products and US products, that's where sometimes the US wins every time, is because the US brings in the specialists in each instrumentation. So you hear a difference between somebody who produced a track done by we used to part of the band. What we do is get the drummer to put the drum sequence in. You get the piano guy to actually play the piano in properly. You get somebody who knows a bit more about second keys to put the second keys in, and you get specialists, and you can hear the difference to somebody who's doing it by themselves. So my encouragement and something to learn from this is the way that likes of Quincy Jones, top guys who got skills himself, Quincy Jones, and also you got to figure Earth, Wind and Fire's already banned. So why on earth are they bringing in somebody to come and do the strings? They understood they could just groove it themselves, but no, they said he's the best. Come in here, do your thing.
And you got to remember with Maurice White. Maurice White was a session musician. He's the co-founder of Earth, Wind and Fire, but he was a session musician at Chess, so he knew what Benjamin could do.
Oh, he was at Chess Records. Okay.
And yes, so he knew about him and Charles Stepney and all of them knew about what this gentleman could do already.
But bro,
so that's actually this is interesting. When Benjamin actually came to the studio to actually do to actually conduct the orchestra, Bruce Swedeen, who used to work and listen to and actually witness Benjamin played on sessions, said to Quincy Jones, this is going to be a piece of cake. Yeah, before the actual session starts to do the strings, he said to Quincy, Benjamin is here. Benjamin is here. This is going to be a piece of cake. That's that was the level that prior to coming to the West Coast, where Benjamin, him and his band was so much. If you ever hear it, the one-off album that he did, it was so cutting edge. I mean, it actually is a collector's item now because it's total masterpiece. It was ahead of its time. The album, and not only that, when Quincy Jones heard the track, when Benjamin raised his bat and start, Quincy Jones was on the ground rolling around, and he said, "What up?" Quincy, he just blew Quincy, and Quincy said, when Michael said that he didn't want the strings to be the leading, Quincy said, "We're leaving it in." That is a signature.
Yeah, man. Sit down, son. Just sit down. Michael, what do you know, man? Sit down, boy.
Sit down.
Yeah, listen.
Let me tell you, it's going to be on, bro. It's going to be on.
Brilliant. But let's move forward, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So we've licked off the early 80s. Now, everybody think after doing Michael Jackson, he then did a couple more tracks with Michael Jackson and he just retired. Did he do that, bro?
Well, no. I mean, he just got started because after that explosion, after the explosion with Michael Jackson, he went on. This is interesting. He went on to start to do stuff with solo records.
Oh,
Shalimar,
yes.
Whispers came out of, and he worked on their platinum albums as well and gold albums. The track "The Night to Remember," he did the strings on that. The strings and all that, brother.
Okay. I'm just checking it out right now. Let's check this out, man. Because Shalimar, you know what? There's some American groups, guys. I'm going, what on earth are they, man? You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at the kind of big bands, man.
Well, the thing about you need to understand with Benjamin Wright, he works closely with some of the best legendary string arrangers in the music industry, full stop.
Come on.
He was mentored by Charles Stepney, a brilliant string arranger, master string arranger. He was mentored by Richard Evans, who taught composition at Berkeley. Remember, the guy taught composition.
Jeez.
These are guys who mentor him.
He's got the best of the best plugging into him, mate. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And that's what we need to recognize. What can I
say? You know,
it's the mentorship, and which is where the breakdown of the UK gospel industry is not as moved on, because the baton change, as you would call it.
Yes. You're talking the baton changes.
I teeth is off Kevin all day long, but I'm gonna use the word baton change. You know what I'm saying? The baton. What do you call it? Baton change or baton exchange? What do you call it? Is it?
I call it baton change. Baton change or baton exchange. Depends on how you want to phrase it. But it is where you give. It is where you actually give a youngster the opportunity. And as Bruce Sudin would say, you baptize them, you put them into the fire.
Yeah. Oh, bro, listen, man.
You put them into the fire. Go in there, and then like Quincy Jones, and Quincy Jones is stand up and watch. That's it.
That's, no, 100%. But what I want to do is hit off before, because the thing is, guys, we ain't got much time left. But I want to hit out now. In the 90s, in my period when I was listening to music, now still, he was licking out with a number of people. I can't believe it, you know, some of his samples were used with stuff with artists, and this is coming into the sampling era. So the sampling era now, this is so crucial in the 90s. Like, we just sampled, but the thing is, what were we sampling? We were sampling masterpieces. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely masterpieces. They said that artists like James Brown that would get, he's the most Isley Brothers. You got all these guys and all these guys.
Remember say not only Quincy Jones, they were sampling James Mack. James Mack was the guy who taught a lot of the string masters like Tom Washington and so on how to do strings. And remember, Benjamin was under the tutelage of James Mack and so on, because they were there all together. These guys, James Mack. Yeah. James Mack. Oh God, I'm so sorry that he passed away. But he's another one again for us to study, because boy, some of the strings arrangements he did, the string arrangements were so brilliant that P. Diddy and Jay-Z, all of them used this master. This is the legacy of where Benjamin came from when he was in Chicago. He was born in Greensville, Mississippi, but he cut his craft in Chicago.
Yeah, man. But he continued working, bro, with groups like Tony Tone.
Brother. We talk about, if you ever heard what he did with Tony and Shalamar and Whispers, and the list goes on. Remember he did stuff with Destiny Child.
Tony Braxton. You know what I'm saying? Braxton. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, some of, and all those, all those tracks, all those albums that he did, they were multi-platinum, bro.
And you know,
they weren't just 1 million copies. They weren't just 1 million copies. They were 2, 3, 4, 5 million.
Listen, bro, one of my favorite groups. It sounds weird, bro. Jamiroquai. He was even working with Jamiroquai, bro. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
Bro, like Jamiroquai, you know.
This guy went all over the place.
But he did some stuff with gospel as well. He's worked on the In the Morning. In the morning. In the morning. Yeah. He's featured in that. Also, his work going back in time when it comes to gospel. Let's gospelize it a bit. He's worked with the likes of Rance Allen as well.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Actually, I belong to you. I belong to you. He did the horns and that. I belong to you. He did the horns and that.
Okay, come on, man. And
look. This brother. Look.
You work with the people, then, man. You know what I mean? He's worked with this.
Remember, he worked on the last Temptation Platinum album, which is Phoenix Rising. He did one of the tracks. He wrote. When we're dealing with this gentleman, we're doing a summary here. If we go into the technicality
and the details and the numbers,
he's got his own recording studio.
Of course, man.
Where he can actually fit in about between 25 to 30 band members, orchestra. He has his own Benjamin orchestra.
Even that, bro. Even that. This is a question that I would say to all the successful producers that we do have in the UK. Do you have recording studios that you own? Have you invested in yourself so you could have your own studio? When the money was nice, did you do that? And a lot of them will say no.
Actually, there's only one or two people that I know
a couple
personally have, and a few of them lives in Birmingham. This is interesting.
Arcade, Birmingham Arcade. It's something to recognize. And the thing is, you don't need to have, I'm actually in a studios now of somebody who owned a house and had his own studios in his house. And I think, and he was in the music industry, not a black guy, but now it's owned by a black organization in the music arts. But the thing is, this is where we need to be transforming my mindset. That, what is my legacy? What am I leaving? If I get given £1 million tomorrow to do Affinity Extra, to do production, to support the people tomorrow, how do I utilize that money? Do I utilize that money in my Lamborghini, or do I utilize that money in terms of developing infrastructure to continue having an engine that actually might go past my lifetime? And that's where we need to start thinking as music and producers. We're looking at so much in our house that we're forgetting about the village and the town, and all we're becoming is a major castle that will get raided because the poor get poor and they'll mash down your house because they got no food. The Russian Revolution, the French Revolution is because they mistreated the poor folk around them. They just enjoyed the riches, and too often we have musical rich people that stay in their castles.
Yeah, this is the actual challenge that we need to remember, which is fascinating. Think about it. Benjamin has worked with several artists that weren't born yet. Mm-hmm. When he did Off the Wall, several artists weren't born yet.
Yeah, man. Of course, I weren't born.
Something. For instance, Dollar Sign with LA. He wasn't born yet when. The fact is that this master string arranger worked with him and took his rap composition to another level. When you hear the strings in LA, your skin stand up in the back because because when Benjamin does strings, he makes them dance like rhythm.
Well, brother,
and
you know what's amazing, bro? Yeah, this is what's amazing. He has got a so-called non-black instrumentation skills. Yeah, that's what I grew up with.
Actually, it's not non-black. Let's just correct this, brother.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Let's just correct this. It is not non-black because a lot of these strings that the Europeans invented is the influence they had from the great African empires and civilizations before. Because you don't actually, because remember, Alexander Library had every treasure and information that was Egypt, the knowledge. So the rebirth of classical arrangements and so on, like during the Romantic period, well, it's white invention, yes, but they had to learn the instrumentation from other royal courts way back. Because remember, the string harps, the Bible, remember David understand how to use strings. He used to use an harp to cool down my friend, my mentally distressed Saul.
Bishop Saul.
He used strings, bro.
Solomon,
he used harp. Saul.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He used those. So these guys were using strings long before. Yeah, we have different inventions of things. Yes. But strings was used long before there was a French Empire or British Empire. Please don't, because we're talking about ancient time. We got each, as royal courts travel, as the Magi's travel, and they, and they had their bands and so on. Each royal court had their hired instrumentalists. Yes. So that's, to me, I look at history in a different way. Yes, Europe did a few things, but brother, who was before Europe civilization?
Africa. So this is why we need to engage and really recognize string instrumentation as part of us. It's not nothing that's been given. It's not been given to us. It's part of
our blood. The Egyptians. It's part of the Chinese. It's part of everybody.
Yeah, man.
So this thing, let us stop differentiating things. Yeah. Because the strings is being used by all civilizations way back.
And a joke.
Anything that, listen, brother, anything has strings
Yeah, man. Rhythm in it.
It's a rhythm.
You know, guitars, man. That's God.
Yeah,
one thing that is crazy, bro, is that he's worked with from hip hop artists and so on, all the way down to jazz, funk, all sounds and elements, yeah. But he still brings his thing in with the strings arrangement. That people would think that, oh, you only can do certain style when he's, when you're a drummer, you're a hip hop drummer. Oh, he's a this drummer. But this guy brought his A game to whatever, whether it's soul, R&B.
When somebody asks him, what do you play? Did you play any favorite genre? He says, I play all genres. I can fit in all genres.
I love it. That's swagger.
Listen to him. I can fit in all genres. And matter of fact, listen to this. He's one of the few string arrangers and classically orchestra trained that has worked at the Nobel Peace Prize on 2 consecutive occasions, where he conducts the choir, the orchestra.
Wow.
On 2 consecutive. So this is how they're regarding Wright Jr. This is how they're regarding. He's the elite of string arrangers. He is the elite. He's part of the top 10.
And he's worked with such a Listen, guys.
I mean, the list drives you. I mean, when I thought I did have an understanding who he worked with, and then it became infinite. I said, he worked with who? With who? With who? With who?
Amazing.
Give me a break, bro. Give me a break.
Amazing dude, guys.
And all the on top of that, remember, each time he worked with nearly all the major black labels at the same time. Of the day, almost all the major black labels of the day.
Never forgetting people.
End of story, right.
Listen, guys. You had a great show. Listen, guys. Benjamin Wright. Listen, guys. If you guys do check out the description details if you're watching this on YouTube or any other thing, because all the details are in there. Where we got Kevin Tomlin's book, books that he has on Amazon, out there. Also, guys, we'll be doing more videos and more things. But so do follow. You go into the YouTube, you'll find in my playlist when it comes to Black music history on the Infinity Extra. There we go through different black musicians, and you know why we do this, guys. We're here to inspire you. We're here to make you feel better of yourself. You make you look in your mirror and says, we brought something to this world. I grew up thinking that we've been developed. Nobody developed us. Yeah, we brought something to the table. If anything, we put the first fruits on the table. Yeah, and we have to understand it so we can stand up, look ourselves in the mirror, and stop being ashamed of who we are and what we bring to the table, and stop being told what is the sound of. Oh my guys. We got some things coming into anyway, so yeah, which will spark some thoughts. And myself and Kevin's part of GMIA, and we will be bringing a podcast to Affinity Extra, which will be looking at more industry elements in there still, yeah, and how we can move forward from an insider's perspective. Gospel music in the UK. So you hear us celebrating black music in a gospel and secular viewpoint, but also we're going to be looking at it from a specifically UK gospel industry perspective. So watch out for that space in 2022. Kevin, thanks again. We get kicking off 2022 with a bang, and we've just kicked off with Benjamin Wright. We've done over 20 videos so far, so guys, look forward for another 20-30 videos in 2022. God's sparing life, man. You know what I'm saying?
20?
Yeah, man.
Brother, did you say we did 20?
20, brother. We done over 20, man. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, what an achievement.
You know what I'm saying?
And by the way, just to say this, that with Benjamin Wright Jr., Benjamin Wright Jr. is a devoted Christian.
Oh, what you tell me? Come on,
he's a devoted Christian, and another thing too. Every time he's going into the studio to do an arrangement, he asks the Holy Spirit to guide him. He asks the Holy Spirit to guide him, to order his steps, and give him the right connotation, the right charting, and so on, and arrangement necessary to make it become reality. That's the brother we're dealing with. He's a devoted Christian, serious brother. And he depends upon the Holy Spirit to guide him. I hand it on that note.
Listen, that's beautiful, bro. That's beautiful. Listen, guys, nothing but love. This is Roger and Kevin Tomlin on Affinity Extra. We're here to celebrate gospel music of black origin, and this is how we do it, celebrating the history of our people, man. God bless you.
Peace and love.
Bless.
Blessing.
Hey, this is your Bishop. This is your Bishop from Rock Solid. Thank you so much for watching us on YouTube. Thank you so much for clicking and subscribing and also sending these videos to other people as well. We are so hungry to get your support. So remember, check us out on our website, and also check us out on Insta and wherever you want to find us on Spotify. You can play us all day as well. And just make sure that you are supporting this channel, that we are developing our agenda towards music of black origin, and that is gospel music with a message. So please walk with us on this journey. Bye now.